Hi, how you doing? Welcome to Social Media Week 2018. Right here, we are live at the Facebook Live box, definitely box. And we're about to have a chat with Nigeria's very own Omojuwa. You might want to listen to this. Omojuwa, nice to meet you.
The pleasure is mine. Thanks for hosting
Welcome.
me.
Welcome
Thank
to
you.
Social Media Week
Thank
2018 with a team closer.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. So let's talk about quickly how Social Media Week is getting everyone closer. Do you think it is getting everyone closer?
Without a question, this is our national conference. Even though we also even bring people from across the world, but this is the biggest coming together of the community in a physical space. Right. And this has been, I think, for the last 6 years or so.
Yes.
And I'm also happy to say that I've been part of everything, even though there was an edition that I had to join via video because I was not in Nigeria at the time. And it's been impressive how it's grown every year. But to your question, yes, this is definitely that place that brings all of us together.
Definitely. So we've known that, especially in Nigeria, social media is growing and it's becoming a force to actually reckon with here in Nigeria. Looking at the likes of Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and all of that. How do you think this is getting every one of us together? Because I think that's part of the reasons why the theme for this year's Social Media Week is closer.
I think the beauty is not even just that it's getting all of us together in the physical spaces. It's also that it's also creating real relationships offline, different forms of relationship, the conventional dating relationship, business relationships, professional relationships, different forms of social relationships. Yeah. So that's the beauty of it for me, because the other one is normal. It is a new kind of normal that just by virtue of being online, you're part of a community. You're even, in many cases, closer to those people that you follow on the different platforms than you are to people that you see physically. And then now, by virtue of being in that space and knowing those people over the years, we've seen, for instance, people go to school, graduate from school, go to serve, marry, even in some cases divorce in this space. And we've also seen all of this translate to physical, real, thriving relationships online, and I think that's extraordinary.
Right? Yeah. So everyone knows that when Omojuwa tweets something or Omojuwa has posted something, it has to be like it carries weight. All right. So let's talk about how social media is affecting governance in Nigeria. Because
social media,
Nigerians are beginning to hold their, these guys at the top, they're accountable, by the tweets, they're responding, they're saying things that are happening. How do you think all of that is coming?
Nigerians have always done that, even before social media.
Okay.
Thankfully, social media is making it much easier. We've had situations, for instance, where we never even had to go protest before making something happen. Take the Gender and Equal Opportunity Bill. We made the Senate President reverse himself from tweets.
Yeah.
We've had situations where Nigerians on social media have practically dragged the president to come talk. You need to address this issue. There are times that you see the president tweeting, it is because people have been agitating. And a lot of it has not even been about going offline. But I also have to say that we need to be careful not to think that social media would cover up for some other things that we need to do. Not all of us, even now, are on social media. Not all of us still have access to the internet. There are some people that even if they had access, they would rather just prefer for you to come and knock on their door. So we need to understand that the other things, the conventional means of influencing, of agitating and organizing remain, but social media has definitely been very, very, very effective and useful in helping to put government on its toes. It's a very useful tool of active citizens.
Yeah, you're very correct there. We've noticed that in as much as a lot of Nigerians are very, very they find this very accessible, especially social media, Twitter, and all of that. Do you think that it's getting to a point where people are beginning to abuse that privilege in terms of, a government official posts something or puts something up, and everybody, comes for the person, or they begin to say this or say that? What's your perception about that?
Like every good thing, there's always another side to it. And I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing that people drag government people or people that they want to hold accountable, because it's a tool of expression. And we cannot define how people have to express themselves. Sure, eventually, people would realize that there's a better way to do it. There's a better way to make somebody do something. And that would, again, also come from seeing, it's the power of the crowd now, seeing that maybe I as an individual can do better because it looks like these guys are engaging these people better, maybe because of the kind of language and the kind of style they're using. But let's not demonize those that we think don't use social media well. Because again, it's about citizenship and different ways of expressing their rights of citizenship. And eventually I feel like the most important thing is that we're getting the results that are necessary, we're agitating on the issues that are necessary, our voices are loud when necessary, and we're making those that lead us understand and know that we will not sit down and watch them do things anyhow.
Sure there. I also want to talk to you about how important is it to have like a presence on social media? Besides the fact that you're having a presence on social media, talking about being accountable, people following you, trusting and believing in whatever you put out there. And we have like in Nigeria now, influencers are very, very big in the country. How important is that in today's society?
Talking about accountability, you see, you owe it to yourself, but then you even owe it to the audience. The reason is because if you're not accountable to your audience, maybe by virtue of the fact that you think that you're now big, you're not going to find yourself in that space for a long time. Really? You won't find yourself time. You know, social media is very fickle. It's very easy for people to just ignore you and move on to the next thing. I personally count it a thing of privilege that I've been in this space for effectively 8 years now, and I'm still very much there, right? And it's understanding from the beginning that this is not as much about me as it is about these people that somehow in many ways I help to amplify their voices, and sometimes it's about my own personal voice, and having to respect that and having to also make sure to let them understand that this is also my personal space, and sometimes I just want to do my personal thing, and having to have that mutual respect becomes a cyclic thing where they respect me and I respect them.
Oh, that's great. So let's talk about futuristic goals right now. Where are you looking at based on interactions, based on Nigerians and the use of social media? Where do you think that we should, what's the next level you think that we should move towards?
I think it's about, first of all, coming together to build bigger things. I don't think we do that enough. We come together physically, but we don't exactly come together to create bigger things.
Okay, but I think that we come together very, very massively on social media. But when it's time for to transit from that space to physical meeting, I think that we're not big on that. That's understandable.
You're not going to expect everybody that you can access to appear physically.
Okay.
Because people have different things they're doing.
All right.
And we don't need everybody that's access the content to come out. We just need people to come together in more strategic ways.
Okay.
Let this gathering not just be about people listening and sharing ideas. Let it be also that they get to form relationships that go on to create things. I know it happens, but we need to scale such things more. So I want to see a situation where in the future, when we're telling the stories of this system, we tell stories that are built from this sort of physical coming together. We also tell stories that are built from the virtual coming together that automatically happens just by virtue of our presence. But I also believe that, look, the beauty of innovation and disruption is that you have an idea of what you think it will do, and it does that thing, but more often than not, there are also unintended consequences that are very positive, that you never even planned for. And that's why I think a lot of things will happen, because the space will get bigger, the opportunities will become bigger, there will become more Nigerians to come on board, and also there's a Pan-African side to it, including the reality of the diaspora, and I think that's beautiful. And the fact that we cannot even exactly predict the future, in the positive sense, is also beautiful, because it means that the opportunities are boundless, and there are many things, many extraordinary things that we can pull off from these platforms.
Definitely. So before I let you go, do you think that we're getting to the point where the law has to be in place for abuses online?
No. We have laws. We have laws. We have laws already with respect to libel, and the laws have also been updated to be able to tender electronic evidence. So to now intentionally want to gag people's voices is not something I would support. I think we have enough laws. I mean, I've been in court based on what I tweeted and what someone tweeted against me, right? I didn't lose the case, but I've been in court, and so we have laws. We have laws already. We need to be careful to make because those that amplify what is wrong with the platforms with respect to how people engage and abuse and disrespect people. Sometimes they look like they are interested in those things, but more often than not, they are interested essentially in actually gagging our collective voices. And that we have to be careful. We have to be careful. Anything that allows citizens their voices to be expressed, anything that allows for the democratization of activism and even democracy itself in the real sense, where we actually have a real people parliament, has to be supported. And we need to be careful not to make government come put his usual wedge on the path.
Definitely. All right, so like you know, Omojuwa is here not just for this interview. He has a session that he's going to be speaking at. So before I let him go, let us find out why is he here this year? What exactly is he here for, and what is he going to be speaking about? Omojuwa.
Principally, I'm here to meet people because this is the biggest coming together, like I said, and there are a lot of people I meet here that I don't get to see until the next edition.
Yes.
So I always look forward to it just because of that. I also get to meet a lot of people that are my people.
They're your people.
On,
like,
on,
hey,
on social media. Not like that. They're my people. They're my people, and it's a good thing. I'm also privileged to be on the panel. We're going to be having a conversation about the perception of Africa.
Perception of Africa.
The shit-hole comments from President Donald Trump. So we're going to have that conversation at 3 p.m.
3 p.m.
Tomorrow we have a conversation about
how back tomorrow again.
Tomorrow, yeah.
Okay.
We have a conversation hosted. This one is hosted by Claudine Moore Media.
Oh yeah.
Claudine is a good friend from America. Tomorrow we are hosted by Business Day around 3 p.m., 3 to 4 p.m. ish. The conversation is about how media tools and the likes are disrupting conventional journalism.
Great. I think Omojuwa is here to,
but principally just, here to meet and greet.
Definitely. Yeah. So if you're not here and you're in Lagos, make your way down to Landmark Event Center, where Social Media Week 2018 is taking place with the team Closer. We'll bring you more details later. Thank you so much. Bye.
Cheers.
Thank you, Omojuwa, for your time.